Call to order the meeting tonight for the commission. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. McGill, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Commissioner Flynn.
Present.
Commissioner Grella.
Here.
Commissioner Siegler.
Here.
Commissioner Silverman.
Here.
Commissioner Swager Wilson.
Here. Thank you. Manager McGill, can you give us a summary of the discussion session topics?
Yes. Earlier tonight, Commission met in discussion session and received information and discussed the following items. We heard a presentation on Get Solar, which is a program through Connect and the PA Solar Center that offers free consulting services to provide an assessment regarding opportunities for solar installations at municipal facilities and a possible joint power purchasing opportunity. I'd like to thank Eric Robb from Connect who assisted with that presentation, as well as Greg Wharton. Both of them did a very impressive job with that information. So you'll hear more about that in the coming months. We also received information on various municipal sustainable efforts and also related to energy benchmarking. Finally, we heard an update on the status of the Timber Creek Stair project. This is a capital project that was approved by the commission as part of the 2024 budget. And then we heard updates on the activities of some of our boards from their commission liaisons. Prior to that meeting, commission met in executive session to receive legal advice from the solicitor on a variety of topics and also discussed appointments to boards and authorities. The next commission meeting, will be held on Wednesday. It's a Wednesday, not our normal Tuesday, April 24th, and that meeting will begin at 8 p.m. in this room. Here are the ways the public can participate in person. You don't need to pre-register, simply show up at the appropriate meeting time or remotely via the Zoom webinar format. Again, you don't need to pre-register. Simply click the link located on the meeting agenda on the municipal website. If you wish to speak during citizens' comments or during public hearings, simply use the raise hand feature on Zoom and you'll be notified when it is your turn to speak. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Community highlights, Commissioner Grella, please.
Thank you, Madam President. We have a really good update today. 4 items prepared by our Public Information Officer. Thank you, Laura. Library, Teen and Family Services, 2 great assets of the community. Talk a little bit about Tree City and end with pool passes. Start thinking about hitting the pool.
It's a warm day today, so that's it.
The Mount Lebanon Public Library is one of Mount Lebanon's most important assets. Over the years, it has solidified its ability to serve people of all ages, interests, and backgrounds as it created and nurtured lifelong learners. The free services it offers and resources it provides are priceless, but the library is most special because of the people who work there. They are true information professionals who provide expertise, services, and guidance while upholding professional values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So please join the Mount Lebanon Commission and Mount Lebanon Municipal Manager in celebrating National Library Week through this Saturday, April 13th. We hope you'll make a special effort to visit the Mount Lebanon Public Library and explore all that it has to offer. Congratulations to Outreach Teen and Family Services on its golden anniversary. For 50 years, Outreach has been serving Mount Lebanon families with important counseling and mental health care. Mount Lebanon Municipality allocates funds to the organization each year to ensure our residents can get the help they need. Residents are eligible for 2 free sessions and up to 8 more for just $25 each. Call 412-561-5405 or go to outreachteen.org. Thank you to the staff and board members of Outreach for everything you do, and happy anniversary. Did you know that Mount Lebanon is a Tree City, USA? We'll celebrate that designation on Arbor Day with our annual ceremony at Foster Elementary School on April 26th at 2:30 p.m. That's a Friday?
Yep.
Friday, April 26th, 2:30 p.m., Foster Elementary School. Commissioner Ann Swager Wilson will read the proclamation, and the students at Foster will sing, recite poetry, and play beautiful music, culminating in a tree planting ceremony. Thanks to Dr. Ramsey and everyone at Foster for hosting this year's event. Finally, Annual pool passes are now on sale at mountlebanon.org. Get yours online today and you'll be able to bypass the long line at the cashier every time you visit. Pool opens on May 25. You know what day that is? Monday? Saturday?
Probably
Saturday, thank you.
Yeah,
May
Saturday.
25 pool opens. Get your passes now. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Grella. I also want to congratulate Laura and staff for the 8 Golden Quill Award nominations from the Press Club for the Mount Lebanon Magazine and the wonderful job you've done. Okay, next up, Junior Commissioner Kate Yang.
I'd like to start off by talking about the Tape a Teacher fundraiser that I mentioned at the last meeting. So this took place last Friday, April 5th. And so FBLA, which stands for Future Business Leaders of America, raised over $1,000 through this fundraiser. And a portion of these proceeds will go to Special Olympics Pennsylvania. And the winning teachers, if you consider being taped to a wall winning, were Mr. Soborowski, Mr. Adams, and Mrs. Pessy. So it was super fun. They like stood on a stool and then we had all the students come up and like actually tape them. And then we'd like take the stool out underneath and they all like stayed on the wall. So it was kind of fun. Yeah. So that was super exciting. And also this week is Spirit Week. So we have themes every day. Monday was Pajama Day. Today was Jorts versus Country Club. Tomorrow is Decades Day. And then Soccer Moms versus Barbecue Dads. And then Class Colors on Friday. And then on Friday, we'll have the Clash of Classes. So this is basically just like a spirit assembly where everyone gets together and competes with their grade. And it's super exciting. And we have some new games this year. So we're playing Hungry Hungry Hippos, but like with people. So like I'm not really sure how this is gonna work, but you have people like grabbing like balls in the middle and stuff. We're also doing human surfing where there's like an inflatable raft and like people like go on top. I don't know. It's gonna be exciting though, but yeah.
Make sure the first responders are on call for that. Human surfing.
Yeah, so that's happening this Friday. And also tomorrow is US History and AP US History Blue Book exams. So students will have an extended homeroom. So homeroom will go from 8 a.m. to 9:25 a.m. Also, this Friday is movie night, which is sponsored by the Freshman Student Council. So they are showing Wonka and tickets are available during all lunch periods and in the AO for students for $5 each. And this will take place, I believe, from 7 to 9 p.m. on Friday at the high school. Next week is the Senior Executive Student Council election. So the entire week is campaign week. So candidates have to make banners, film speeches, and they can like pass out candy and all the other things for their campaigns. And then the actual election will take place during the day on Friday, and the results will be announced during 8th period that day. So it's really a big deal because the entire school, well, freshmen, sophomores, and juniors vote on the senior officers for the next year. And then also next Friday is the high school annual art show. So this takes place from 7 to 9 p.m. and it features the AP studio artists and the student art gallery, and admission is free. So anyone is welcome to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonder what our country's elected body would look like if we gave all candidates 1 week to campaign.
It would be, yeah. Okay,
Really strict rules about it. Like you can't mention anything. You can't campaign at all until that week where you're like, not eligible.
Yeah.
Save a lot of spending.
yeah, save a lot of spending, right? Next, we have citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for any resident to express an opinion on any topic pertaining to local government. The commission enjoys hearing from the public on various issues and learning about items to address in the future. If you have specific questions, we will try and answer them at the end of your comments. If we can't, we commit to getting you the answers as soon as possible. When I call your name, please come to the podium to address the commission. State your name and address for the record. In fairness, we ask each speaker to share their thoughts for 5 minutes. The community is as good as each person in this room. We work together to make this community that we can all be proud of, and we expect that the dialogue remains respectful. We also appreciate the audience's efforts to refrain from any behavior that is disruptive or might intimidate free speech. First up, Colonel Hume.
Bill Hearn, 456 Coolidge Avenue. Give you folks an update. I don't know how much you're all into international affairs, but there's a lot of stuff going on. Finland in the last week has requested NATO troops so that they can reinforce their border on the east, 620 miles of border. They've done that because of Russian activities on the other side of the border. Finland is also considering allowing NATO to station tactical nuclear weapons on their soil. That would be unthinkable 2 years ago. Wouldn't happen. Sweden has increased their patrol activity in their waters because of detection of submarines violating those waters. And it's thought they're Russian submarines, not Chinese, or we would notify them if it was ours and we wouldn't violate their waters. French troops have been moved to the eastern area of Romania. That's not far from Russia. Okay, the Russians have fired artillery into Transnistria. That's a province in Moldova, and Moldova is thought to be the next move if they can eventually overcome Ukraine, with US assistance, of course, lack of funding and all that. The Italians scrambled fighter jets twice in the last week to encounter Russian fighter bombers over the Adriatic. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, I'm sure you're aware, this is old news. Shaped charges were used to cut communications cables in Swedish water. It's thought to have been done by the Iranians under Russian direction. Okay. In the South China Sea, the Chinese have used water cannon to attack Indonesian boats that have been trying to provide supplies to one of their military bases on an island in those seas. In case you're not aware of it, China's trying to take over the entire area and exclude Vietnamese, Indonesians, everybody. And we also have a treaty with Indonesia that if they have a problem, we will come to their aid. Now, the question is, where is it going to start? Where is there going to be an accident? You know, the Russians have already wrecked a $38 million drone of ours, and we didn't do anything. We haven't done anything much about anything since we pulled out of Afghanistan, the most highly advanced intelligence center in the world. 2,500 troops, that's all it would take to maintain it. But we said, nah, we don't want to get involved with that. Unfortunately, this country is in a phase where all wars are considered bad news. We don't want to be involved, no matter how righteous the war. I mean, the Israelis know how to handle terrorist groups, but our president says, no, we don't want you going into any cities where there are lots of people. Well, that's what Hamas does. You know, they hide under hospitals, they hide behind large populations, and some people get killed. Well, that's unfortunate. But Can you imagine Israel telling us that we can't go after bin Laden or somebody else if we have a problem? It's amazing. We got to get our act together because we're slow walking right into World War III. Oh, one other thought. Within a week of a nuclear weapon going off on our shores, every one of you folks in front of me will be dead. Bad news. Sorry to tell you that.
Thank you, Colonel Hoon. Mr. Egler, I'm hoping you're a little more positive this evening than that.
Positive, but what?
Well, not wanting to.
Would
think
like
of-
to survive.
Yeah, we're
Well,
looking for.
I wasn't planning on that, well, there was a large discussion in the other room about electric, so I'm gonna hit that topic today, but you still know my feel about, the fee and how that along with the tax, is the largest increase in the history of Mount Lebanon, but I can't seem to convince any of you of that. As far as the electric, I would hope you were all aware, it seemed like there was some confusion about the bills. Streetlights have always been unmetered. I go back to the days when it was mercury vapor, and then we saved a little bit with sodium vapor. Now we're doing some LED lighting, but the big issue was Duquesne Light and tariff. That's a dirty word, tariff. I don't know if that's ever been settled with Duquesne Light or not, but they were not willing to lower their rates, even though they were using very little electricity with the LEDs. So I would hope somebody needs to check into that. As far as electricity in general, I can remember back in the day, a group called Strategic Energy. We bought our electric in bulk and saved quite a bit of money. In 1 year, they even allowed us to do it with the streetlights. I would also hope that every, say, 5 years or so, that the bills are checked. In the back of the bills shows how many bulbs. You're billed by the size of the bulbs. It'll have how many bulbs are out there. Your bulbs in the intersections are stronger than the ones in mid block. There's a list in the back of the bills that should be checked to make sure that it matches up with our inventory. Same thing with our streetlights. Streetlights will have every intersection on the back of the bill. Somebody should be checking that because quite often you'll check and see lights were removed and you're being billed for many years thereafter. So hopefully somebody's checking that. As far as, purchasing electric, buying in bulk with some of these groups, like I said, Strategic Energy, different groups. I've personally been involved in that many years in many places. That's the way to do it. Go in with these other groups, buy in bulk, and you can save a lot of money. It's very hard to compare one bill though against the next. Your unmetered bills are one type. The rec center is a very complicated bill. The way that is, that's probably the third highest bill in this community. Then you have your buildings, even the bills down like on Cedar Boulevard for the baseball lights and such. I'll bet you're not checking to see that if you use that lights 1 day in a billing cycle, your demand is total for the whole month. We had an agreement that with the baseball association to not turn on the lights until a certain date when a billing cycle started. Because if you go into 1 day, the demand part of your bill, you get hit 100%. Because all it does is check to see what's your usage in that day, and boom, you 1 day use and you're at maximum. Is anybody checking that? I seriously doubt it. But there's a lot of things with electric out there that you need to know, and you just scratch the surface there. Like I said, all bills are a little bit different. There's a lot that needs to go into. There's a lot of options. Speaking of electric, I hope Mount Lebanon's not going to be the guinea pig here. In our lifetime, I don't think these electric vehicles are going to work out in our lifetime. Maybe someday, okay, but right now, pay twice as much to get these vehicles that may or may not work. I'm sorry, I can't see us going that route at this point. I hope we look into, further alternate sources to run some of these things in energy, but I just don't see it. And if the election changes in November, there's not going to be that big push on electric here next year. So I think we should do a wait and see. You're always told when you're buying a car years ago, never buy a car the first model year that comes out because you have problems left and right. I noticed the problems with electric already. My son who works on vehicles, they have electric vehicles. They're not allowed to touch them. They're not even allowed, Tesla vehicles, only certain places are allowed to work and they can't get the parts. They can't get the parts. So your cars and vehicles are sitting here months at a time. What are you going to do? Oh, we're going to hear the dealers. Oh, I'm sorry. We're waiting for China to get the parts to us. That's what's going to happen. You're at their mercy. You're at their mercy. And then what are we going to have? All these electric vehicles and all this, where are we gonna be dumping all these batteries when they go bad? You're worried about the environment and everything else. It's gonna be a toxic dump site. Mount Lebanon used to collect the old batteries. We don't even do that here anymore. The sign out there says we're no longer collecting batteries. So I guess everybody's just throwing money in the trash now, you know, who cares? And you're worried about polluting? I mean, really, how much are you really saving here? You got India and China. We're going to time, building coal plants and everything else. What do they care? You think that pollution doesn't go around and go everywhere else? What we're doing is so small, it's incredible. How much pollution do you think a volcano erupting puts out? CO, which is plant food and such. I mean, what we're talking about doing here is so insignificant and so small. We're wasting so much money and time and effort. Hey, I'm for clean air and everything else. As long as you're not out there throwing garbage in the water and polluting in that manner a whole bit, you know, so be it. What you're doing now, I mean, the cars are cleaner and more efficient than they've ever been in the past. And we're going out there and trying to do this electric thing. I'm sorry, we're gonna be in last place. That's the way this country, and Colonel Hoon, I think, said it best. There's no respect for this country anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. That note. Anybody online? I'm sorry. You know, it isn't even up there.
Yeah, we're working on that issue.
There's nobody online.
Got it. Thank you very much, Nick. All right, Commissioner Grella.
Thank you, Madam President. In consideration of the minutes from the adjourned meeting held March 26, 2024, I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, Commissioner Silverman.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration for the award of the 2024 Street Maintenance Program. Bids were received on March 19th, 2024 for the 2024 street maintenance contract. The project includes roto milling of existing pavement and resurfacing with bituminous materials to various depths on streets throughout the municipality. Streets included the base bid package were as follows: Cedar Boulevard from Morgan Drive to Mayfair Drive, Cedar Boulevard from Baywood Avenue to Washington Road, Florida Avenue from Cedar Boulevard to 666 Florida, North Meadowcroft Avenue, Morrison Drive to Dixon Avenue, Illinois Avenue from Mississippi Avenue to the end, and Mississippi Avenue, the municipal line to the end of the street. The following streets were considered as alternates for street maintenance: Catalpa Place from Parkside Avenue to Richland Road, Shady Drive East from Washington Road to 615 Shady Drive East, Oxford Boulevard from Worcester to Pembroke Drive, St. Clair Drive, the entire road, Bower Alley from Cochrane to Altoona, Magnolia Place, 295 Magnolia to Savannah, Valley Park Drive, Sleepy Hollow to the cul-de-sac, and utility patch repairs. Municipal engineer has verified the bids as follows, and they are on the screen on my right. The audience is left, hopefully online. Municipal engineer has reviewed the bids and determined the low bid to be accurate. The manager recommends the award of the base bid, Shady Drive East, alternate number 2, Magnolia Place, alternate number 6, and utility patches, alternate number 8 to Youngblood Paving Incorporated, totaling $479,350. The contractor has completed similar work in Mount Lebanon and other communities in a satisfactory manner. The budget amount for this contract is $476,020, and the engineer's estimate for the proposed award was $508,900. The project will be funded through the transportation portion of the operating budget, and the utility patchwork will be funded through the sanitary sewer fund. I move to award the 2024 base bid, alternate number 2, alternate number 6, and alternate number 8 to Youngblood Paving Incorporated in the amount of $479,350.
Second.
All those, well, no, discussion.
I just have a question. What do we, what's the timing of the start and potential finish of those projects? Do we have that info?
Commission awards tonight. The contract schedule. Typically.
What's your sense roughly? Got it. Thanks.
So like start May 1, hopefully finish by the end of August into September.
Notification on this one, Keith?
So if the commission approves this evening,
Yeah.
then we will notify the contractors tomorrow of the award. We will communicate the roads being impacted by posting it on our website, and then we'll follow that up with letters that go to the individual residents.
Yep.
To direct them first there and direct them to periodically check for updates once we actually have the schedule from the contractor
Yeah.
for then when those roads would be completed. And then we will post all of those dates on the website. Those mail notifications will go out tomorrow to the residents directly impacted. We'll send a LIBO alert when the schedule's posted, and we'll push it out on social media. And then we mail a second notice to those residents.
Work's gonna start.
Right, and then the contractor has a requirement in the contract to notify them with a 3-day minimum before they start their work.
Okay, great. And then what's the recommendation for, I didn't look at every single one of these for the off-street or on-street parking and overnight. What's the recommendation for those who might park on the street, have permits, things like that? Do they go to like the next block that's not affected, and then are they on a police list so that they're not ticketed? Is that the idea?
We will communicate with MLPD
Okay.
in terms of the streets that are under construction and will be restricted from a parking standpoint.
Yeah.
So that those residents will not be ticketed for parking on abutting
While the work
streets
is going on.
while the
Okay,
work is
great.
ongoing.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Item number 6, Commissioner Flynn.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration for the award of the 2024 Road Reconstruction Program. Bids were received on March 19th, 2024 for the 2024 Road Reconstruction Project Contract. Streets included in the bid package were as follows: Birch Avenue from Sunset to Scott, Fernwood Drive to Parkside Avenue to Dead End, Furwood Drive from Larchdale to 1145 Furwood, Mapleton Avenue from Bower Hill to Ray, Meridian Drive from Haverhill Road to Country Club Drive, Oregon Trail from Connor Road to the Municipal Line, Raleigh Drive from Furwood Drive to Lakemont Drive, and the Cedar Boulevard Salem intersection improvements. The following streets were considered as alternates for reconstruction: Baton Way, depending on how you want to pronounce that. There are variations. Baton Rouge. Yes, from Sunset Drive to Scott Road, Craig Court, from Anawanda Avenue to the cul-de-sac, Helen Drive from Banksville Road to halfway through Dollar General's driveway, Parsway from 659 Washington Road, to Alfred, and Penn Oak Road, from Sweet Gum Road to Moffett Street. The bids were received and verified as presented on the screen. Well, there were 2 bids. Can we go, are there, that is it? Okay. There were 2 bids, from Nyando Construction, Inc. and M.A. Fasciano Contracting. The bid documents allow for the award of any combination of base and alternate bids. The engineer recommends the award as listed in the recommended action with totals as follows. The total base bid is $2,155,037.55. The total of alternate bids awarded is $283,656 for a total contract award of $2,438,693.55 to Nyando Construction, Inc. The recommended streets will be funded through various sources as presented on the screen, so I will not read that. And Nyando Construction has successfully completed the reconstruction project in the past, and the municipal engineer recommends this award. Madam President, I move to award the following: Birch Avenue and drainage alternate, Fernwood Avenue, Furwood Drive and drainage alternate, Mapleton Avenue and drainage alternate, Meridian Drive and drainage alternate, Oregon Trail and drainage alternate, Raleigh Drive, Cedar Salem intersection improvements and alternate, and Helen Drive alternate to Nyando Construction, Inc. in the amount of $2,438,000 or $2,438,693.55.
Second.
Discussion, questions.
Just same comment about notification, same process.
Same process.
Perfect, thanks.
Same process. And then my other comment is I look forward to the day when we do have a policy on building the undergrounding conduit necessary for undergrounding our utilities and other
Right.
right-of-way users.
And the municipal engineer and myself have already had that conversation. So the next step in the process is for us to actually reach out to Duquesne Light to see what specifications, what they would want to have included. We'll also pull in the cable companies because it would, again, obviously they're currently located on those poles. They'll need somewhere for their infrastructure to go as well. So we are working towards getting that process in place.
Fantastic, thank you.
Great. Okay, any more questions? Everybody's all set? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Not seeing any opposition, the motion carries. Thank you very much. Item number 7, Commissioner Siegler.
Thank you, Madam President. Consideration for the award of the 2024 Street Rejuvenator Program. Bids were received on March 19th, 2024 for the 2024 Street Rejuvenator Program. This project includes the application of approximately 34,600 square yards of Reclamite pavement rejuvenator throughout the municipality. Reclamite is a cost-effective way to extend the life of the asphalt pavement and has been successfully used by the municipality for over 20 years. The contract includes a base year 2024 with 3 optional renewal periods. This would allow the contract to be extended as Mount Lebanon's sole discretion until 2027 to maintain continuity. The municipal engineer has verified the bid as follows, which I think you can see on the screen because I
Yep, it's there for you.
can't.
No, it's
I'll-
there.
I'm going to trust you all. Great. Our right and on the audience's left. The municipal engineer and the Public Works Department, based upon past performance of the contractor, recommends award of the contract to Pavement Technology, Inc. The budgeted amount for the contract is $36,400. The engineer will monitor quantities to stay within the assigned budget. The project is to be funded through the transportation portion of the operating budget. Madam President, I move to award the 2024 Street Rejuvenator Program to Pavement Technology, Inc. in the amount of $41,520.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. And that's it, folks. We're adjourned. Thank you.